Hello, I'm Tom Wilkinson and welcome to the Thinking in English Grammar Podcast, a podcast for intermediate to advanced level English learners. Football and basketball are two of the most popular sports in the world. But which one is better? Which sport has the faster players? Which sport is more exciting to watch? Which sport is more popular globally? Today I want to compare football and basketball. In order to talk about this topic and similar topics, we need to understand and know how to use comparisons of superiority or comparative adjectives. Let's practice this grammar and discuss which sport is better in today's podcast episode. I have created a full study pack for this episode and all other comparative grammar episodes. It includes so many grammar exercises and also an exclusive episode on superlatives. You can get it by becoming a Patreon subscriber or by purchasing it at the link below. Here is today's grammar lesson. Comparisons of superiority or comparative adjectives are used when you want to say that one thing or person has more of a quality than another thing or person. This is the most common type of comparison. If I am 190 centimeters tall and my brother is 180 centimeters tall, I am taller than him. He is shorter than me. The way we form this grammar changes depending on the length of an adjective. With short adjectives, so one syllable or two syllables ending in Y, we just have to add er and than. For example, smarter. She is smarter than her brother. With long adjectives, so two or more syllables, except those ending in Y, we use more adjective than. More interesting. This book is more interesting than that one. Here are some more examples. He is shorter than his friend. Shorter is the comparative form of short. We add er to short because it's a short adjective. This car is faster than that one. Faster is the comparative form of fast. This film is more exciting than the last one. Exciting is a longer adjective, so we use more to form the comparison. Her house is more expensive than mine. Expensive is a long adjective, so we say more expensive. For adjectives ending in E, like large, you only have to add R to form the comparative, so larger. And for adjectives ending in Y, like happy, you change the Y to an I and add ER. When it comes to sports, football, or soccer in some countries, and basketball are two of the most popular games. Both have millions of passionate fans and are played across the globe. But which sport is better? The answer is not simple. It depends on what you are looking for and what you like. Let's compare the two sports in terms of popularity, skills, physical demands and entertainment value to help settle this debate. In terms of global reach, football is far more popular than basketball. Football is played in almost every country in the world, while basketball is more concentrated to North America and parts of Europe and Asia. The FIFA World Cup is the most watched sporting event on the planet, attracting billions of viewers. This is far more viewers than the NBA Finals or the FIBA World Cup. Some people argue that football is easier to play than basketball. because all you need is a ball and some open space. This makes it more accessible than basketball, especially in poorer countries. Basketball, on the other hand, requires a proper court and a hoop, which is not always available. It is more difficult to find somewhere to play basketball. When it comes to skill, both sports demand a lot from their athletes, but in different ways. Basketball is often faster paced than football. Players need to have quicker reactions than average people, because the game moves at a rapid speed, with frequent changes of possession and continuous action. Basketball players also need to have better hand-eye coordination than the normal footballer. Football, on the other hand, focuses more on endurance and strategic play. Football matches last 90 minutes, longer than basketball games, which last around 48 minutes. Players need to cover a much larger field, making stamina more important in football than in basketball. While both sports are physically challenging, football is generally rougher and more physical than basketball. In football, players often collide while tackling, but in basketball they're not supposed to. Basketball, however, is often more demanding in terms of jumping and quick changes of direction, putting a lot of stress on the knees and ankles. In terms of training, basketball players focus more on explosiveness and vertical jumps, while football players work on speed, endurance, and strength. Entertainment is obviously subjective. No one can tell you what you like or tell me what I like. But many people in North America believe basketball is more exciting than football, especially for fans who love fast-paced action. In basketball, teams score frequently. Games are higher scoring, and games can change in the last seconds, keeping fans on the edge of their seats. Football, however, is often more dramatic than basketball. Every goal is a major event, and the tension builds throughout the match. In football, an exciting game might end with a score of 1-0, but in basketball, it would be 140 to 138. For some fans, the rarity of goals makes football more thrilling than basketball. Even though football is lower scoring, it can be more exciting. A question that people in the USA always like to discuss is which sport has the better athletes? And this is a really tough question. Both football and basketball produce world-class athletes, but they are trained for different skills. Basketball players are generally taller and more powerful than footballers, while footballers are faster and have better endurance. They can be fitter than basketball players. For example, LeBron James is much taller and much more muscular than Lionel Messi, but Messi is quicker and more agile than LeBron James. Football's cultural impact is also bigger than basketball's, especially in regions like Europe, South America, and Africa. In many countries, football is not just a game, but a way of life. Every country in the world will have football teams, football players, people playing football. Clubs like Barcelona and Manchester United are more famous than most basketball teams. And players like Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi are global icons, often more recognized than NBA stars like Stephen Curry or Kevin Durant. I think maybe in the USA, some NBA stars are more famous, but around the world, globally, football players are better known. However, of course, in North America, basketball has a stronger influence than football, with the NBA being a dominant part of American culture. In the end, there is no simple answer to the question, is football better than basketball? Football is a bigger sport, more accessible and culturally more significant, while basketball is faster paced, higher scoring and more intense. It just really depends on what you like, what sport you enjoy watching, and also what sport you enjoy playing. Personally, I prefer football. I've never really watched basketball that much, but I'm sure some of you listening are big basketball fans. Or maybe there's another sport that you prefer. So here is today's final thought. Today I've introduced you all to comparisons of superiority and comparative adjectives. We use this grammar when we want to say that one thing or person has more of a quality than another thing or person. After explaining how to form and use this type of comparative grammar, I tried to demonstrate the grammar through a discussion of football and basketball, two very popular sports. Now you have listened to this episode and this grammar lesson, let's practice your English. Why not answer the following question in the comments on Spotify, YouTube, my website, or on Patreon using the grammar you have learned today? Out of football and basketball, which sport is more popular in your country? As I said, leave a comment on Spotify, YouTube, my website, Patreon, and use this grammar to answer that question. Turn your passive listening into active English use. There's a few other ways you can turn your passive listening into active English use. Download the study pack and answer all of the grammar-based questions and activities I have put in there. It's perfect for you to keep practicing and learn how to use this grammar. If you join Patreon, you can get it for free, or you can buy the study pack. And also, if you join Patreon as an English learner, subscriber, or higher, you can join my conversation clubs, where we probably will be using this grammar the week after this episode is released. So thank you all so much for listening. Have a great day, and I'll speak to you all next time. Goodbye.